Ah, classroom management, yes. Arguably the hardest part of the entire teaching profession. How are we supposed to grab and maintain the attention of an entire class full of kids, regardless of their age? It is hard. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're brand new here, my name's Shelly. I'm currently a second grade teacher in Northern California. Welcome to a space where we talk all about teaching, a little bit lifestyle, but today we are talking all about classroom management. I really want this video to be a practical place for you to come back to get some ideas for classroom management. However, I think it's really important to start by saying the hardest part about classroom management is the fact that there is no magic bullet. There is no one size fits all, there is no right answer, because every teacher has a different personality. Every year, your students have different personalities. So the hardest part about classroom management is A, finding what works for you, and then B, molding that into how it works for your students. So that's what makes it so challenging and extremely frustrating. However, being that I am in my 5th year of teaching, I have been able to try a lot of these different management styles on. So hopefully of all the different examples that I'm gonna give you in this video, maybe there's one that you haven't tried yet and it might just be what you're looking for. Okay, so like I said, I really want this video to be actual concrete things that you can try in your classroom to help manage those kiddos and in turn get more learning done. So I want to break it up into whole group management strategies and then kind of more like individual incentivized classroom strategies, because they are two totally different realms of the spectrum and both equally important. So I think what I'm going to do is talk about what I'm currently doing in my own classroom, well, what my long-term sub is doing because I'm on maternity leave, but what I will continue to do when I go back to my classroom and what I did last year. And then I'll talk about some other strategies that I've tried and other strategies that I've seen on social media that I think you might benefit from knowing about. So here we go. So let's start whole group, because I think sometimes that is the one that is more daunting and a lot harder. So I do a couple of different things in my classroom. I think I have finally found what works for me, at least at a 2nd grade level, and I will continue to do this because it has really been working for me. So the first thing I need to tell you about is the beloved doorbell. I'm sure you have seen teachers using them all over social media. I finally decided to try one last year and I do not regret it. I will put a picture here, I will link it down below. It is essentially just a little doorbell. I keep it on my lanyard, and when I click that doorbell, I have it set to about a 5-second chime. My kids know that when that chime ends, they need to be frozen with their hands on their head. The reason I love that it's like a 5-second countdown is because they can finish up a conversation, finish the cut, finish writing, and then be frozen. Now, there are consequences when everybody is not frozen, which we will get into in just a little bit. I love this because personally, attention getters for me have never really worked. It doesn't really fit with my personality, which is kind of weird because I'm kind of crazy and outgoing, but the whole call and response just never worked for me. I love that I can just beep, hit the button, and then the kids hear it, it's loud, boom, they react. So that is the first thing I do to get the attention of my entire class. Now to reinforce this, I do something called Mrs. Coates versus 2nd graders, and it is so incredibly simple and it can be used and tweaked the entire year long. So it's exactly what it sounds like. All week the kids compete with me. I have a space on my board, I will try and find a photo and put it somewhere up here. But it just has my name and then 2nd graders, and I keep tally all week. At the very beginning of the week, the 2nd graders decide on the prize that they are going to be working towards. Extra recess on Friday, a class game on Friday, whatever it might be, they agree really quickly on what that goal is. Let's just say it's an extra 10 minutes of recess on Friday. If I win at the end of the week, they don't get that prize. If they win, they get that prize. Very, very simple, doesn't cost you any money, it's great. The reason I love this is because you can give points for literally anything. So if there's something that your class is really struggling with, like calling out or raising their hand to talk, which I know is gonna be our biggest thing when I go back, you can make that the focus of why you're giving them points for the week, whatever it is, right? So for example, in my class, they get a point every time I ring my doorbell and every single person is frozen. If anybody is not frozen, I get a point. Reflecting back on last year, raising our hand and calling out was a huge issue. So every time someone spoke out of turn without raising their hand, or more so interrupted another student, I got a point. If they were being disrespectful to one another, I wouldn't call out, hey Johnny, that's really rude, don't do that. I would say, ooh, it sounds like there's a little bit of disrespect going on in the classroom and that doesn't follow our class guidelines. I'm gonna give myself a point, which is great because you're not embarrassing anybody, you're calling attention to the behaviors, but it's more of a whole group thing. I love this because they encourage each other to do better. It's awesome. And on the flip side, you give them points for the same thing. Wow, Johnny, I really liked how you complimented Susie on X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna give our class a point. It works for anything. I really like how you guys lined up for recess. You get a point. That was a really messy line. I'm gonna give myself a point. It works for everything, and I have never seen a class get together to do better in any other strategy that I've tried. Clearly I'm passionate about this one because I've seen it work. So that is what I call Mrs. Coates versus second graders. Feel free to try it, I love it. So that is our big whole group one. The second thing that we do whole group is team points. I've tweaked it a little bit to kind of match our second grade content. So essentially, my students are grouped into teams, pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, I think I have it right now. And they earn points. But instead of earning points, they earn money because money is a second grade standard. So I will use coins. Oh, purple team, you just earned a quarter. And I will keep track of that on my board. And then at the end of the week, we count all the money, and whoever has the most money wins whatever you decide. Jolly Rancher, stickers, a hug, whatever. Aside from the doorbell, this is like an extra little piece that really motivates the kids to work together and to do better. So that is all that I do currently in my classroom whole group because it's enough for us. But I want to give you some other ideas and things that I've done in the past that I've liked, but I have let go for whatever reason. I think the obvious one is the call and response, right? Or the 1, 2, 3, eyes on me, 1, 2, eyes on you. Attention getters, there are hundreds of them, and there are teachers all over Instagram that love this. So if you're an attention getter type person, go find some fun ones because I think the more fun and engaging it is, the more likely the kids are gonna kind of grab onto it. Something that I used in my third grade class that I really liked, actually I should say the kids really liked, I wasn't very good at managing it, that's why I let it go, but I used a Kerplunk. If you forgot what Kerplunk is, that's what it is. It is the game we played when we were kids, if you're a millennial. So essentially it's a bunch of sticks going into this tube, and up top there are marbles. Now if the whole class does something great, you lined up great. Johnny, please go pull a stick. They pull a stick. Well, eventually those marbles start to fall. When I did this in third grade, I said for every marble that falls, you get an extra minute of recess. When all the marbles fall, we get a class game or a pizza party or something of that nature. So the kids loved this one. Again, I wasn't really good at maintaining it. Another thing that I've done that worked really well for the younger kids is use something called Scouts. If you are GLAD certified, you know what this is, but essentially you choose 2 kids who are always watching for behaviors in the classroom. And if they see good behaviors, then they give the kids tickets or whatever kind of classroom economy that you're using or whatever you want, really. And I do think that this works, but again, I would always forget to pick Scouts. So it was just something that I knew I had to let go. But I have seen it work, and it is very powerful if you think that's something that you can manage. Another one that I recently saw on Instagram that had I still been teaching 6th grade, I for sure would have done this year because it works really well if you're departmentalized and you have like different sections of kids. If you follow Maniacs in the Middle, Josie, over on Instagram, she's amazing. She teaches 6th grade science, and she does something called Jolly Rancher Wars, where basically all 6 or 7 of her classes are constantly competing against each other, and whoever wins at the end of the week gets a Jolly Rancher. It's really that easy. And again, I think this would work really well if you have multiple sections for a short period of time and you don't have all that time to ring the doorbell and do all those other things. Jolly Rancher Wars, like I said, if I was teaching 6th grade, I for sure would have done it. Okay, so that's all I have today for whole group strategies. If you have anything else that you try in your classroom, please let us know down below. I can't wait to read them. I'm always interested in trying new things if I think it will mesh with me. So let us know down below what you do for your whole group. And while you're doing that, I want to share some individual incentives, some one-on-one kind of classroom management strategies that I've tried, things that I'm doing right now, and things that I think you might be interested in hearing about. So it is no surprise that I and probably many other educators are big believers in positive reinforcement. So in order to make sure that that is present in my classroom, I have, since my first year of teaching, always had some kind of classroom economy, whether it had been tickets, or this year I'm trying stickers. I'm actually trying both, so we'll see how that goes. But some kind of economy, something that the kids can earn for doing something well on their own that they can then turn and use to get some sort of a reward. So in the past I have used tickets And then my favorite part about the ticket system is that you have a store, right? A prize store. But the reason that I like my way of doing this is because I don't actually have to go spend any money on the prizes. All of the prizes are intangible, if that's a word. So let me give you some examples. Some of the things the kids are allowed to buy are using one of my fun pens, taking their shoes off in class, being able to use one of our wobble stools or our fun chairs, lunch with the teacher, chewing gum if you're brave. I cut that one out, but I've done it in the past. Getting a Jolly Rancher, being able to choose their job. I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head, but there are a bunch of different things that you can do or they can earn that aren't gonna cost you any money. They get really, really excited about those things. The shoes off one, for whatever reason, is always a big hit. So manage that how you want to. I'm just warning you, they really, really like that one. So I always have some kind of economy where the kids can earn things. Now, this year I'm doing it a little bit different because I'm kind of following my team teacher. Instead of earning tickets, the kids are earning stickers. So we have made them little sticker books. I'm trying this because she says that the stickers are enough. She says they love these stickers so much that they don't even have to turn them in for a reward. So I'm gonna try that. I got some of those really cute fun stickers that you've seen on Instagram. And I'm gonna see if that's enough. If I don't think that's enough, I'm gonna add that extra layer of, okay, if you get 15 stickers, here's what you can win. Things like that. So whether you use tickets or stickers or coupons or whatever your school has set up, using some kind of prize store or reward system really, really, really motivates them to kind of fix those behaviors and do the things that you're wanting them to do inside the classroom, which in turn leads to more learning. To be honest, that's kind of the only individual management trick that I have for you. The other big piece of management is consequences, and I think this is really gonna vary from site to site. But some things I've done in the past, especially when I've worked at really, really hard sites, is I typically do a 3 strikes kind of you're out system. You get 1 warning, the second warning, I'm gonna move you somewhere else around the classroom, and the third warning is whatever consequence that you have agreed on. Whether it be you're filling out a think sheet, we're calling your parents, missing recess, even though I really don't like to take recess away from the kids. Whatever consequences you decide, I really like that 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. It gives them a chance to fix their behavior, and you can do it in their ear. Hey man, that's strike 1. So you don't have to do the whole red card, clip up, clip down shaming thing. Not a fan, no shame if you do it, not my vibe. So consequences are a whole different thing. My favorite way of dealing with consequences right now is if it's a consistent behavior, I let the kids call their parents and tell their parents what it is that they're doing that is disruptive or inappropriate or things like that. And that normally nips things in the bud pretty quick. So yeah, that's what I do in terms of consequences. All right guys, those are all of the practical management strategies that I have for you today. Like I said, if you do anything else in your classroom that you have found really truly works for you, please leave it down below. I can't wait to go read them. Comments are always a really fun place to interact with you guys and learn new things. If you have not already, please make sure that you are subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy. Other than that, I have missed you guys so much. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.